In 1975, a 24-year-old engineer at one of the most powerful companies in America built something strange, a camera with no film. It was the size of a toaster, and it took 23 seconds to capture a single black and white image. He showed it to his bosses. Their reaction wasn't excitement, it was a warning. "That's cute," they told him, "but don't tell anyone about it." That engineer had just invented the digital camera, the future of photography, and his own company decided to bury it. This is how Kodak buried the future. To understand why, you have to understand how big Kodak was. Founded in 1888 by George Eastman, its promise was simple. You press the button, we do the rest. For most of the 20th century, Kodak didn't just lead photography, it was photography. At its peak, it controlled around 90% of film sales in America and 85% of cameras sold. The little yellow box was everywhere. Before Kodak, photography belonged to professionals, heavy glass plates, toxic chemicals, hours of work. George Eastman's genius wasn't a better photograph. It was making it simple enough for anyone. He didn't sell cameras, he sold the ability to keep a moment forever, and an entire century handed him their memories to hold. Every birthday, every wedding, every holiday. For 100 years, the world's memories were captured on Kodak film. They even owned the phrase for it, a Kodak moment. But here's the part that explains everything. Kodak's real business was never the camera. The cameras were cheap, sometimes sold at a loss. The money was in what you put inside them. Film, and the chemicals to develop it. Every photo you took, every roll you dropped off, fed a machine that ran on gross margins of around 60 to 70%. Film wasn't a product. It was a recurring tax on memory, and Kodak collected it. Think about how that worked. The more photos the world took, the richer Kodak got, automatically. A child's first steps, a soldier coming home, a couple at the altar. Each one was a few cents of film and chemistry flowing back to Rochester, New York. Kodak had quietly turned human memory into a subscription. This was one of the great cash machines in business history, billions in profit, year after year, decade after decade. And that cash machine is exactly what killed them. Because go back to that filmless camera in 1975 and ask the question Kodak's executives actually asked. Not, "Is this the future?" but "What does this do to our film?" And the answer was terrifying. Every digital photo is a photo that never gets printed. No film sold, no chemicals, no processing. The digital camera didn't just compete with Kodak's business, it deleted it. And it wasn't just film. Digital meant no prints, no photo albums, no one-hour photo labs, an entire ecosystem of high-margin products gone. Kodak didn't really sell cameras, or even film. It sold a whole world built on the physical photograph. Digital threatened to delete all of it at once. So Kodak made a choice that felt rational in the moment. It protected the cash cow. It slowed the future down, to defend a margin it could not bear to lose. For the next 2 decades, Kodak did the worst possible thing, a little of both. It dabbled in digital, quietly, while pouring its real money into film. It had the patents, it had the engineers, it had a 10-year head start, and it sat on all of it. By the time digital truly arrived, Kodak was a follower in a race it had started. When it finally sold digital cameras, it often lost money on everyone, because there was no film sale behind them. In 2004, after 74 years, Kodak was removed from the Dow Jones. And when Kodak finally tried, it couldn't escape its own instincts. It built digital cameras designed to nudge you to print more photos, feeding the very film business that was already dying. It spent a fortune buying its way into digital, then wrote much of it off. Every move was half a step, hedged against the thing it refused to kill. And in 1996, with digital already on the horizon, Kodak made its boldest bet of all. Not on digital, on film. It spent around $500 million launching a brand new film format called Advantix, a better horse, unveiled right as the car was pulling onto the road. It flopped. The market had already moved on. And here is the proof it was a choice, not bad luck. Across the Pacific, Kodak's great rival faced the exact same storm. Fujifilm watched film die too. But Fuji did the one thing Kodak wouldn't. It killed its own golden goose. It took the chemistry it knew and reinvented itself into cosmetics, materials, healthcare. Fujifilm is still here today. The difference was never vision. It was the willingness to destroy your own margin before someone else did it for you. Today, the chemistry Fujifilm once used to coat film helps make the screens in your phone and the antioxidants in skincare. The company that made film outlived film itself. Kodak had every advantage Fuji had, and more. What it didn't have was the nerve to walk away from easy money. For Kodak, the end came exactly as that prototype predicted. Digital didn't dent film, it erased it. Sales fell off a cliff, and the cash machine that funded everything simply stopped. At its peak, Kodak was worth around $31 billion, one of the most valuable companies in America. In January 2012, it filed for bankruptcy. The patents that might have saved it were sold off for parts. And the cruelest irony was written into the bankruptcy itself. Kodak's most valuable remaining assets were its patents, the foundational ideas of digital imaging. They were sold for around $500 million to a group that included Apple, Google, and Samsung. The companies that won the future bought it cheap from the company that invented it. 145,000 people had once worked there. The yellow box that defined a century of memory was gone. Kodak's story isn't the one we usually tell. It didn't fail because it missed the future. It failed because it saw the future, held it in its hands in 1975, and buried it. Not out of stupidity, out of math. The film margins were too good, the cash too easy, the future too expensive to allow. They chose the golden goose over the thing that would replace it, and the thing that would replace it didn't wait. They invented the camera that killed them, then spent 30 years protecting the business it was built to destroy. That's not bad luck. That's the receipts. This was Kodak.